Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode one of our holiday series, Gut Happy Holidays, Thriving Through the Season with Digestive Peace. With the holiday season just around the corner, I know many of us are starting to think about all the delicious food, festive gatherings, and let's be honest, the stress that comes with that when you have digestive issues. So, the reason for this series is I want to help you enjoy the holidays even when you have gut issues with a game plan of specific proven strategies drawn from my experience working with hundreds of clients. This 6 episode podcast series is going to be your ultimate guide to preventing digestive symptoms during the holiday season. We're going to navigate the ins and outs of foods that are gut friendly, how to be a guest, how to host without issues, and how to indulge in the festivities without worrying. So, in today's episode, we're diving into Holiday Prep 101, pre-paving your gut health for a joyful season. We'll explore how to set yourself up for a fantastic holiday experience without sacrificing your digestive peace. And trust me, this is really important. Last thing you want is to trigger a gut flare that could put a damper on your holiday fun. But the good news is, when we take a little time to prepare, we can truly enjoy the festivities without the post holiday misery. Now, let me share a personal story with you. A few years back, when I was first starting my private practice, I was so excited for the holiday hustle, running from one party to the next that year and indulging in rich foods without a second thought. And before I knew it, this had never happened to me before. I was feeling bloated and uncomfortable. The stress that year had triggered this new problem of acid reflux. And this time the holidays hit me in a whole different way. So I was bloated, I had reflux, and I was belching uncontrollably. So, as you can imagine, that really put a damper on my holiday spirit. And that experience taught me the importance of being proactive about my gut health before the celebrations began. By planning ahead, I could enjoy the treats I love the most and cherish those special gatherings with family while feeling my best. And that's what I do to this day. So, today I'm going to share with you my favorite strategies to help you prepare your gut for the holidays. And stay tuned for the rest of this series where we talk about how to handle the holidays as a guest, explore friendly alternatives to classic holiday dishes, share mindful eating strategies to avoid overindulgence and still feel satisfied and enjoy your favorite treats, and discuss how to bounce back if you do overindulge. Whether you're cooking, attending events, or just trying to maintain your routine, I've got you covered. So let's get started. Let's dive into understanding gut health and how it relates to the holiday season. First of all, those of us dealing with conditions like IBS, SIBO, acid reflux, histamine intolerance, or other stomach issues, the holiday is a bit of a minefield. The rich foods, festive drinks, and even the hustle and bustle can throw our systems out of whack. So it's essential to consider how these factors might affect your gut health. The stress of this season itself can impact our gut in more ways than one. When we're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, our bodies may respond with digestive issues like bloating, cramping, acid reflux, and flare ups from pre existing issues. So, with all the tempting holiday treats around, it can be easy to indulge in foods that just don't sit well with us. Things might be high in sugar, fat, or ingredients that we just know our bodies don't tolerate well. So that's why it's so important to be proactive about your gut health before this time instead of waiting until you're feeling uncomfortable to make the changes. Taking a little time to prepare and plan can make all the difference. So, with those who are not familiar with my approach, I'm all about enjoying the foods you love, even when you're on a restrictive diet and you can't eat everything. By being mindful of our food choices and managing stress levels, we can enjoy the holiday season without compromising our gut health. It's all about balance and making choices and managing our stress. So, to enjoy those festive foods, we want to have a plan in place. The first thing to do is to create a festive atmosphere. So, surrounding yourself with the experience of the holiday is a lot more than food. And don't worry, I'm not going to talk you out of enjoying the food. That's really what this series is all about. But the holiday experience is much more than that. So, surrounding yourself with the holiday decor, the twinkling lights, the cheerful music can really elevate your mood and help you feel more relaxed. And when you feel good mentally, it has a positive impact on your gut health. You might have heard about the connection between the brain and the gut. It's called the gut brain connection, or sometimes the gut brain axis. Sometimes we talk about it in terms of the vagal nerve or the vagus nerve. These are different terms to describe the fascinating connection our emotions and our mental state have to each other that can influence our digestive health. When we're stressed or anxious, our gut can react with discomfort, bloating, and other symptoms because the communication between the brain and the gut is pinched off. On the flip side, when we're feeling joyful and relaxed, it opens up that highway of communication so everything can function more harmoniously. What that boils down to is we digest our food better and we have fewer symptoms. So it's essential to consider how our mood affects our mindset and overall success during the holidays. If you are stressed about anything that's going on, and just the hustle and bustle of the situation, or certainly if you're worried about how foods are going to affect you, that's actually going to work against you. So we want to be very intentional about setting a festive atmosphere, continuing to focus on that. And if we find ourselves starting to focus on stress, kind of redirecting, stepping back, so that we're enhancing our holiday spirit and also supporting our gut health. So you might play your favorite holiday music, put up decorations that bring you joy, or even invite loved ones over to share in the festivities. All of these little things can create a warm and inviting environment that nourishes not just your soul, but your gut too. The next thing we want to do is maintain our daily routines throughout the holidays. It's really important to stick with our normal routines as much as possible throughout the holiday season. I know that this is a time when we can easily get thrown off course, whether we're at home, traveling, or even as a guest. But the more you can maintain your normal routine, the happier your body and your gut will be. So that means things like exercise, supplement schedules, eating schedules, and this takes a little bit of planning ahead. So let's break down each of these sections. Let's talk about exercise. We want to stay active. It's really important to stay active. And that's assuming you were already active. Okay. So I'm not saying that we start doing activities that are dramatically more than what we're used to, but to whatever extent you're normally active, we want to try to continue and maintain that activity. It can be challenging to find time for workouts amidst all the festivities, but try to stay on track with your exercise routine as much as you can. Exercise is fantastic for gut health because it increases blood flow to the digestive organs, helping them to function better. When you exercise, your heart pumps more blood, which means more oxygen and nutrients are delivered to the gut. This increases circulation and can enhance digestion and promote the movement of food through the gastrointestinal tract. It can promote your production of enzymes and acid and release of bile and the things you need to digest your food. So it can help with reducing all kinds of symptoms related to those mechanisms. And if sticking to your regular workout schedule is not possible, just try to include some form of physical activity when you can. Think about short, enjoyable workouts, or you could do maybe with phone apps or just fun family activities that get everybody moving. For example, when I'm with my nieces, they get a real kick out of seeing me do my home workouts, and they often like to join in for a few moments here and there before they get bored and then run off to do whatever else they were doing. That's kind of a fun thing. A post-in or walk is always a great idea after a holiday meal. Playing a game outside can keep you engaged and active and also just kind of enjoying everything together. And it's a great way to bond. The next thing I want to talk about is your supplement schedules. You do want to keep up with your supplement regimens, assuming that you're on one. I know a lot of my clients find that certain supplements help to keep their gut on track. So, whether it's something you take to help your bowel movements or digestion, supplements can play a really important role in supporting your gut health, and you want to stay on track with them. So, consider setting reminders on your phone. Change in routine might make it harder to remember taking them. Keep a pill organizer or some way to pack them with you to stay on track. It could be a pill organizer. They have travel pill containers. It could be just a tiny little Ziploc bag. Whatever you need to do to make sure you have them while traveling, and they're going to be easy to grab in that moment that you need them without having to sort through a bunch of things. So try to have them all prepped and ready for yourself in their own little pouches, like packing each dose in a separate pouch of a snack size Ziploc. That'll make it easier to just take them, and setting an alarm or a reminder might help you remember. So I would also recommend labeling them so you know what's what and when to take what. So this is where planning ahead definitely comes into play. The next thing I want to talk about is your eating schedule. Consistency in meal times is another really important factor to consider during the holiday season because you're going to be thrown off of your usual routine. And I know it's also very common for people to want to save up the calories for the big holiday meal and not eat very much throughout the day, for example. And that is just not a wise approach. You want to stick to your regular eating patterns as much as possible. And this might mean planning meals around events or setting aside some specific times to eat. Not only is saving up the calories for the big holiday meal not healthy for you, but it can backfire with your weight management efforts and disrupt your digestion. So, skipping meals can lead to excessive hunger, making it more likely that you'll indulge when you finally sit down to eat, and that can be very tough on your gut as well. So, I recommend having a healthy breakfast, even if it's something a little small, and having snacks planned in advance so you can maintain a consistent eating schedule. A good schedule is something every 4 hours or so throughout the day to prevent you from getting too hungry and risking really bombing your gut with a giant meal later on. So, speaking of planning snack, let's talk a little bit more about having healthy snacks on hand during the holidays. Having gut-friendly snacks readily available can make all the difference in preventing those situations where you overindulge. It's all too easy to get caught up in the moment and munch on whatever's available, and those things are going to be very tempting, especially if you don't have any wholesome options that can help you stay on track. So, what are good snack choices? One great idea is to pair cheese with fruit. It's a really simple, tasty combo. It offers a balance of protein and carbs. Fruit has carbs. We think of carbs as breads and pastas. Fruit has healthy carbs. And cheese is well tolerated by many, many people with digestive issues, even because lactose is the problem most people have with dairy. So even if you find that you feel better without dairy, a lot of people feel better because they're not consuming lactose. And cheese happens to be a dairy product that's extremely low, almost negligible in lactose. So cheese and fruit is a great option. Another option is to whip up a homemade snack mix. I really like this tip because you can carry it anywhere you go. It's convenient, it's filling, it's balanced. So, what do you put in there? I recommend some gluten-free pretzels, dark chocolate chips, dried cranberries, rice checks or corn checks, and some walnuts or pecans. And the key with anything like this that has nuts and dried fruit The reason I made all those specific recommendations is these are specific nuts, specific fruit, specific gluten-free pretzels and dark chocolate. These are not going to have any high FODMAP or fermentable ingredients. They're going to be well tolerated by many, many people with gut issues. But the key when you're having nuts and dried fruits is a small portion. So I would recommend getting those tiny, small Ziploc snack size bags and pre-portioning this mix into those bags in advance so you can just grab and go when you need a filling snack that's going to keep you on track. That travels well. You can take it to parties. And then another suggestion on that note would be individual tubes, portion size tubes of nut butter. Those are fantastic. You can pair them with rice cakes or crackers or bananas and also carry them with you. And I do recommend pairing your carbs with nuts or with nut butter or with cheese because it will make you feel more full on a smaller amount, which is what we want. So those are my best tips for snacks to carry with you. Another tip could be like a lactose-free or almond milk yogurt topped with berries and maybe a sprinkle of nuts if you're at home or in a place where you can have that stuff readily available. With these types of snacks, try to have something balanced, like the examples here, every 3 to 4 hours or so. Something with protein, something with carbs, and this way you avoid getting too hungry and mindlessly snacking later on. And then let's just talk a little bit about planning ahead, because as you can see, a lot of the things we're talking about involve a little bit of planning ahead. And planning ahead is going to be an essential part of enjoying the holiday season with confidence. When you know what events you're going to attend, what foods will be available, you can prepare accordingly, and that will be a game changer for your gut health. So don't just go into this season kind of blind, don't wing it. For example, if you're invited to a holiday party, take a moment to think about the menu. If you know there will be a lot of rich dishes that might not sit well with your stomach, consider having a healthy meal before heading out. This does not mean that you're not going to let yourself eat when you're there, but it can help prevent that overwhelming hunger that leads to overindulging on less than gut-friendly options. Maybe you could enjoy like a nice hearty salad with some lean protein like grilled chicken or canned chickpeas so you're not arriving starving. Another great strategy is to bring your own dish to share. This way, you know there will be at least one gut-friendly option at the table. Think about a colorful veggie platter with a yogurt-based dip or a quinoa salad packed with seasonal veggies and a light dressing. These dishes not only taste great, but also add a healthy touch to the spread, encouraging others to enjoy them too. And don't forget about planning for travel or gatherings where you might not have as much control over the food. If you're going to a potluck or family dinner, consider packing some snacks or a small meal in your bag. This could be something simple, like a homemade wrap with lean protein and veggies, or some of those portable snacks we talked about earlier, like nut butter and fruit. This way, if the options available are not gut friendly, you'll have something nutritious to rely on. So, by planning ahead and being prepared, you can indulge in the festivities without compromising your gut health or feeling like you have to miss out on the fun. It allows you to enjoy the season with a sense of ease and confidence instead of dread or fear. The next thing we want to talk about is setting the physical stage based on your symptoms. Let's take a moment to talk about some common gut symptoms that people might experience during the holiday season. Things like bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux. Understanding how these symptoms can impact your enjoyment of the festivities is key to managing them effectively. Let's talk about bloating first. If you are a person who's prone to bloating, consider sticking to lighter meals that are easier to digest. Overly rich foods can often make things feel even more uncomfortable. So try to balance out those holiday treats with lighter options. Herbal teas like peppermint or ginger or mycarminative tea can be fantastic here. They help to soothe your digestive system reduce the bloating, move gas through so it doesn't sit there and build up. So I recommend a nice cup of either peppermint, ginger, or carminative tea after your meal. And I do have a recipe that will include in the show notes for the carminative tea. Carminative means that it moves gas through and helps with bloating. The next thing I want to talk about is gas. To keep things comfortable during gatherings, you don't want to have a problem with gas. And so it might be wise to avoid some common gas-inducing foods like beans and carbonated drinks. If you know that you react to FODMAPs or lactose, avoid those as much as possible and instead opt for dishes that you know are gentle for your belly. If you're unsure about a dish, don't hesitate to ask the host what's in it or check if there's a milder option available. If you are prone to constipation, it's important to keep high fiber foods on your radar. Think about whole grains, fruits, and veggies, and also staying hydrated. When you're out of your routine, it can be very common to drink less. So you want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And don't forget to incorporate movement and stretching into your day, whether it's a walk after dinner or some gentle yoga, even small bursts of activity can help get things moving. If you deal with diarrhea, having bland, easily digestible foods on hand can be really helpful. Foods like plain rice, bananas, and toast can help to settle your stomach. And definitely steer clear of any known triggers. This is not the time to experiment with something that you're unsure about. If you deal with acid reflux, the holidays can definitely be tricky. And so you'll want to avoid rich, heavy, fatty food. Perhaps limit caffeine, carbonated beverages, and alcohol, which can all trigger symptoms, and focus on smaller, more frequent meals rather than big, heavy ones. Make sure to sit upright and don't hunch over during and after your meals. And I would also say chew your food very, very well and avoid drinking a lot of fluid during the meal. These are all things that help with acid reflux. As we continue through this series, we will be diving much deeper into specific holiday dishes and discussing how to make them gut friendly. We'll also talk about what you can eat while hosting or being a guest so you can navigate those situations with confidence. For now, just remember to create a plan that addresses your unique symptoms while still allowing you to enjoy the holiday season. It's all about balance and being prepared. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is creating a gut health rescue kit. It's really important to be prepared for any gut issues that might pop up during the holiday season. We're talking a lot about how to prevent that, but nothing's guaranteed in this world, right? So things can happen, and with the whirlwind of festive foods and activities, it can definitely be all too easy for us to upset our digestive systems. And so you want to have a backup plan in case something does, in case you do trigger symptoms. I'm going to talk in this section about a number of supplements that can be helpful. Just remember to always check with your doctor before you start any new supplement, especially if you have chronic health conditions or you are taking medications. But I do recommend preparing a gut rescue kit. This is a handy little kit that can be your best friend during the holidays, ensuring you have what you need on hand when symptoms strike. So, some things to consider, including number one, would be digestive enzymes. And this is if you've used digestive enzymes before and you know that you tolerate them well. In that case, they can be a helpful addition to your gut rescue kit. They can support your digestive system, especially when indulging in rich holiday foods, rich meaning high fat that your body may not be accustomed to. If you have not taken digestive enzymes before, it's a good idea to try them out in advance of any holiday gathering just to see how your body does with them. And that way you'll know if they'll work for you or not, and you can feel confident about using them during the festivities if needed. The next thing to pack in your rescue kit is herbal teas. As we said earlier, peppermint and ginger teas are fantastic for soothing digestion. A warm cup can help relieve bloating and gas, making it a comfortable choice or a comforting choice after a meal. However, I do want to put in this disclaimer. If you experience acid reflux, it's best to avoid ginger. Ginger can often cause burning, and it definitely can for me. So I recommend as an alternative, check out my carminative tea recipe. It's very gentle and helps move things along. I mentioned earlier it helps with bloating, but because it helps with motility and moving food out of the stomach, it also helps with acid reflux. Antacids are another thing, or the other over-the-counter remedies. If you're prone to heartburn or indigestion, you may want to have some antacids on hand. They can help neutralize stomach acid in the moment and provide some quick relief. Fiber supplements can be beneficial for promoting regularity, especially if you're concerned about getting enough fiber during the holiday meals. They can help keep things moving in your digestive tract. Just be sure to take a supplement you're familiar with and that you know you tolerate, particularly if you're experiencing constipation or planning to travel, because many people do tend to struggle with regularity while on the go. And on that note, if fiber's not enough, another excellent option is, and you can do them both, fiber and magnesium oxide or magnesium citrate. This is really helpful for people who have difficulty with bowel movements. It helps draw water into the intestines, magnesium does. Magnesium oxide or magnesium citrate. And that makes it easier to pass a bowel movement. So if you're traveling, it's a good idea to start taking magnesium citrate or oxide at least 2 days. I would say 2 days in advance because it typically takes about 3 days to start working. And this way you get ahead of the constipation and prevent it rather than having to react once you're already backed up. Now, remember that everybody's gut is different, so it's important to personalize your rescue kit based on your individual needs and symptoms. So take a moment to think about what has worked for you in the past or what you might need to help manage your specific issues. And by having a plan and a well-stocked rescue kit, you can feel more equipped to handle any gut-related surprises that might come your way during the holiday season. In this way, you can focus on what truly matters, enjoying time with loved ones, and making great memories. The next thing I want to talk about is your mindset. So, building a gut-friendly holiday mindset is also really important. Too often, we get caught up in the idea of restriction when it comes to our health, and that can zap all the joy out of our holiday spirit. It can make the season feel like just a bunch of can'ts rather than cans. You might think, if I can't enjoy myself, what's the point? And this mindset can lead to all or nothing thinking, where you might indulge just because you're feeling deprived, only to suffer in misery afterward. Does that sound familiar, anybody? So instead, let's shift that mindset from restriction to enjoyment. The holidays are meant to be a time of celebration, connection, and delicious food, and you can absolutely enjoy your favorite treats while still being mindful of your gut health. It's all about finding the middle ground where you can savor some flavors of the season without compromising your well-being. And creating a positive relationship with food is especially important all the time and especially during the holidays. So remember, guys, food is not the enemy. If there's a reason that you're not tolerating it well, we can figure out what that reason is and address it. But food is meant to be, even if you're having food intolerances, that's a result of some sort of digestive imbalance. It's not the food itself that's the problem. Food is supposed to be a source of joy, connection, and comfort. So instead of labeling foods as good or bad, try to view them through a lens of balance and that some might be better choices than others at a particular time. Enjoying a slice of pie doesn't mean that you failed, it means you're participating in a cherished holiday tradition. And let's not forget the importance of self compassion. If you do indulge a little more than planned, forgive yourself and move on. A little self-kindness goes a long way. Your digestive health is important, but so is your mental and emotional well-being. By cultivating a positive mindset around food, you'll not only enhance your holiday experience, but also create a healthier relationship with food that lasts well beyond the holiday season.